unpack the mortgage regulations of 2020.
It is estimated that 1 in 10 people will develop kidney stones sometime in their lifespan, with men more affected than women.
I used to just sit in the toilet like this, so I couldn't even notice I had blood stains.
It's a bloody painful condition.
I couldn't sit, I couldn't stand, I couldn't sleep.
We compare it with labor for women, but women who have gone through labor say that pain is even worse.
We shed light on exactly what it is, what causes it, and why men more than women.
For all your personal and business banking needs, SMS GROW to 0708 000 111. UAP Old Mutual. We've got you covered. Doing great things every day.
New Year comes with New Year deals. Renew your corporate subscription and get a bonus. Subscribe to Nation e-paper for 3 months and get 1 week absolutely free. 6 months and get 2 weeks absolutely free. 1 year and get 3 weeks absolutely free. To sign up, visit epaper.nationmedia.com or email subscription@ke.nationmedia.com. Offer valid till 28th February 2021.
Taught us, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that we should keep cleanliness. Actually, he said that cleanliness is what is best for a Muslim. And from him, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, hand washing, which is part of cleanliness, hand washing, that we wash our hands, we wash our faces, we wash every time with soap. This is part of what the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam taught us.
Welcome to Good Life, where we are all about you. We know that health isn't just about getting rid of aches and pains when you are under the weather. It's more than just prescription refills and medication. It's all about going the extra mile for you. Whether it's our expert advice on skincare or nutrition, perhaps a quick lab test, an on-call doctor, or even basic vital checks like BMI, blood pressure, or blood sugar, we got you. You can also order from our website and enjoy delivery services. Walk into any of our 67 branches across Kenya today and start living the good life. Good Life, we are all about you.
Cabling tips. Verify and authenticate your cables. We manufacture an extensive range of power cables for our lives.
This is NTV.
Good afternoon. My name is Olive Burrows, and it's about that time in the day when we bring you the NTV at 1 news updates. Now, with me this afternoon, we have Zainab Ismail, who is camping outside the Ministry of Interior ahead of a press briefing that involves the Interior Cabinet Secretary, Fred Matiang'i, as well as leaders from northeastern Kenya following concerns over insecurity. We also have Gabriel Kudaka, who we'll be hearing from in Eldoret. But another story we're keeping an eye on is that of the National Nurses Association of Kenya and the Kenya Clinical Officers Association, set to address the media on the ongoing health workers strike. This comes amid calls for the medics and government to agree on a return to work formula. This, it's hoped, will alleviate the suffering of patients seeking treatment in public hospitals. Anita Nkonge is on that beat. Once there is an update, we will be bringing you to that directly. Now, the Interior Cabinet Secretary, Fred Matiang'i, as I mentioned, is currently meeting a section of leaders from the northeastern region to deliberate on insecurity in the region. The closed-door meeting began about 3 hours ago, and the CS is expected to address the press afterwards, as you saw from those microphones set up there. And the meeting comes on the back of a press conference by regional leaders yesterday, calling on the government to address a resurgence in Al-Shabaab attacks once they begin. We'll be taking you there directly. All right. And a family in Mpingu village in Mara Sub-County, Tharaka Nithi, is crying for justice after their 9-year-old daughter was murdered in what is believed to be a ritual sacrifice. A key suspect in the bizarre murder that took place on Sunday claimed that he was offering a sacrifice to a witch doctor. Nuru Abdulaziz reports.
A somber mood greets us at this homestead in Mpingu village in Mara Sub-County, Tharaka Nithi County. Sadness and shock written all over their faces. Their 9-year-old daughter was murdered in a bizarre ritual.
Mimi nilikuwa nafua maguo nyumbani, sister yangu mwenye amemfuata akakuja akanishua eti kuwa sister yangu mdogo ameuawa, lakini ajui ako sure kama ameuawa zilikuwa fununu.
Evans decided to investigate, the trail leading him to the home of a 32-year-old man. What he found was shocking.
Kaingia kwa hiyo nyumba ya mzee, sikumpata, kaa nilikuwa toka nje, nikapatana na huyo mzee kaa amelala hapo, nikamuuliza wapi sister yangu, akanisheti nichukue ng'ombe ili atulipe huyo mtoto. Mimi nikapata kicha ya sister yangu, nilipokanyanga na mguu kuangalia uso nikapata ni sister yangu, nilipata na huzuni sana.
It is alleged that the suspect had been directed by a witch doctor to sacrifice a girl, goat and chicken as a ritual to protect him from relatives who are planning to kill him.
Huyu mzee ndio alisababisha kifo ya mtoto yangu. Njoo nilipokuja nilisikia alikuwa ameitisa roho ya kuku, alikuwa ameitisa roho ya mbuzi na roho ya mtoto. Alafu huyu mzee mtoto yangu huwa anampelekea maziwa kila siku na yeye ndiye alienda kumuita kanisani.
Villagers say the suspect is a frequent visitor of the old man, said to be the witch doctor.
Polisi walipofika pale kweli tukapata msichana amekatwa shingo. Mwili iko kando, kichwa iko kando.
Naomba serikali muweze kunisaidia na haki iweze kutendeka mimi kama mzazi, kwa sababu niko na huzuni.
Mganga kienyeji ambayo mshukiwa alikuja kupata tibabu. So sisi tumeshika hiyo mshukiwa na hiyo mganga kienyeji pia wote tukawakamata.
The two are being held at Chogoria Police Station. Nuru Abdulaziz, NTV.
Just a reminder that we're keeping an eye on a meeting between leaders from Northeastern and the Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i following concerns over a rise in insecurity. That has been disputed by the ministry, but let's take a look. The press briefing by the Interior Cabinet Secretary and the leaders should be beginning any moment now.
First, to thank you for your interest as media in the issue of security. That is our issue of discussion today between counties of Garissa and Isiolo, where there has been an ongoing conflict. And today we have invited the leadership from Northeastern and from Isiolo, so that we can discuss ways of having lasting peace in that region. We are aware that besides insecurity that is internally generated by conflicts around pasture, cat rustling and such crime, the region that we also have to deal with insecurity arising from Al-Shabaab. And we have had a meeting with the leadership and have agreed on the way forward with them and start the journey towards building peaceful coexistence between the communities, especially around the internal boundaries of these counties. So in this briefing, we will have some comments before the Cabinet Secretary addresses us. We will have some comments from the Governor of Garissa, Governor Korane. We will have also some comments from Governor of Isiolo, Dr. Kuti. And finally, we will have comments from the CS. We have chosen that because we are a big group, and the comments from those governors are representative of the discussion and the views that have been expressed, especially by the political leadership from the various counties. So let me take this opportunity to invite Governor for Garissa, Governor for Isiolo, and the CS in that order. Thank you very much. Governor for Garissa.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We met this morning to discuss the recurrent conflict among the people of Isiolo and Garissa and Wajir and Isiolo. And we have agreed in principle that we need to bring to an end this conflict. The killings need to stop. We are neighbors, and we have been neighbors forever, and we will continue to be neighbors. And we need to find a solution to these problems. Our problems mainly has been the sharing of pasture and water, and the conflicts around them, including some element of cattle rustling. And we have agreed that as leaders, we should take the leadership to come together as leaders of Garissa and Wajir, and ensure that our people continue to live in peace as they have always done, and that we shall guarantee that whenever we need to seek pasture from across, because people from Garissa who do the seeking of the pasture, that we will consult our neighbors and continue to graze in their lands with their consent. So with those few remarks, thank you very much.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I think today we had, I would like to first appreciate the national government, especially CS Matiang'i and his team, for calling for this meeting, because lately we have been having escalated insecurity between Isiolo, Garissa, and Isiolo, Wajir. One of the things that really we address today is that we should not come back here always talking the same thing, because there are certain historical things that had to be corrected. I think the issue of border was fully addressed today, and directives were given to ensure that the border, which is already known, should be respected, and a grazing arrangement be made so that people respect one another, people live as neighbors together. The issue of NPR was addressed, and balancing the numbers, and in fact the usefulness has been addressed, so that the government now makes sure security is taken over by government, and balancing of those NPRs should be done. The issue of strengthening the peace committees is very, very important, and it has been very active in the past, where neighbors, the two committees, interact and maintain good neighborliness and report any incidences and contain at that level. We as leaders also, we have taken responsibility to work together and ensure peaceful coexistence of our people, because these are the same people, Kenyans. So we feel that this is a very productive meeting, and we are grateful to CS Matiang'i and his team for organizing, and we feel today we have left this meeting with certain clear directions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Governor Kuti. Ambassador Mahmoud, the governor of Wajir County, although he did not make remarks, was part of us. Thank you so much, Governor Korane, the governor of Garissa, and all the elected leaders from Garissa, Wajir, and Isiolo. Let me begin, first of all, by very sincerely thanking these leaders. The issues that we are dealing with, and then my colleagues in the security sector as a whole, the issues we are dealing with are not easy. Some of them are very complex. Some of them are of a historical nature. Others may have happened because of things that were not done in the past when they were supposed to be done. So we are faced with a situation where, in some cases, we are actually doing some painful corrective action. But fortunately for all of us, in some cases, much as some of the decisions we have had to take this morning require a lot of understanding, I'm grateful that we've had very useful discussions. And I thank these leaders because the commitment they have shown to bring about peace on the boundary between their counties is very helpful. But I need to say about 2-3 other points. One is the nature of our country. When we are moving towards an electoral cycle, you will see an escalation of intercommunal tensions, some of them, relating to pasture, but some of them also, we have to be very sincere, have a relationship to a political activity or political intentions or political expressions. We have had a very candid and honest conversation with each other. And in matters like this, I do not want to be naive and assume that we will all agree on everything. Some of us may have felt that we probably needed to do things or certain things differently. But that's the nature of discussions and negotiations. It's a journey. And I liked what one of the leaders has just told us, one of the members of parliament here, who said this is a journey. We are building a relationship and we are trying to ensure that we sort out some of the mistakes that may have been done in the past. So we have agreed on how we are going to work on this. Some of the decisions we have made, for example, in relation to administrative boundaries and how they are going to be sorted out, are not things we will do overnight. We will work on them and we will continue to consult one another. Because the hallmark of a society that is going to survive and go far is that we have to be at the table talking to one another all the time. And that is what we have done this morning, and that is what we are going to continue to do. We were accompanied by the Inspector General of the National Police Service, Mr. Mutiambai, the 2 DIGs, my colleagues, the regional commissioners for Northeastern and Eastern, all the county commissioners from the counties concerned, and the teams from the police command that are handling this matter. We've come to an agreement on the various actions that need to be taken, and I want to urge the leaders that it is now our turn to lead the way in observing the agreements we have reached, especially in ensuring that we check some of the ways in which we express ourselves. I know that when we have conflict or when we have challenges, passions are inflamed, and there is a temptation always to point fingers, even using language that could inflame passions further and worsen conflict. I want to plead with my brothers and sisters who are standing behind me, and those of our colleagues in the political practice, that we have a country to manage. We have a people to lead. And even when we have challenges such as we do, or such as we have had on the boundaries between Wajir, Garissa, and Isiolo, we always must remember that even beyond that conflict, we are family, we are one nation, and we must remain together as we go forward. So we will ensure that we police this better. The Inspector General has undertaken to look into the deployment of our police resources on that boundary, and we will do our best to ensure that we serve our people in that part of the country effectively. We are now conducting an audit of the National Police Reservists and the KPRs in that part of our country.
The Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i, they are addressing insecurity concerns in Northeastern. We've heard from 2 governors as well as the PS Interior and now the Cabinet Secretary himself. Zainab Ismail, who is covering those proceedings, will have a more comprehensive report for us in our subsequent bulletins. We take a break. We'll be back shortly.
Safari
You have
Mabati Factory offers best quality mabati at the most affordable prices. We pride in over 10 years experience. Our products have 15-year warranty and are KEB certified. We manufacture box profile, Europe tile, Jenga tile, corrugated profile, among others in a wide variety of colors. Enjoy our free delivery in just 72 hours. To order, call us now on 0111 050 700. Ruiru Mabati Factory, mali safi kwa bei poa.
Breaking news from Molfix. Let's see what they're developing right now.
Molfix pants with anatomic fit technology. New Molfix pants, an invention from babies for babies.
You should also try Molfix.
Thank you for staying with us on NTV at 1. Before we went on break, we told you, or rather we brought you the story of a suspected ritualistic killing of a 9-year-old in Tharaka Nithi County, and now to another shocking incident where a father and his 22-year-old daughter have been arrested by police in Githunguri sub-county in Kiambu for allegedly hacking their grandmother to death. The 72-year-old Beatrice Wangare, a retired teacher, was brutally murdered on August the 22nd last year and was buried just 5 days after the incident. The deceased was reportedly stabbed to death in her living room. The investigations took a dramatic turn after her son, Patrick Gitimo, reportedly surrendered himself to the Githunguri police station, where he also availed knives he allegedly used to kill his mother alongside his daughter, Mercy Wangare. Detectives from the Githunguri DCI spent up to 8 hours digging up a hole where evidence was allegedly concealed.
Ile kitu aliona huyu mtu alikuwa akifanya hiyo kitendo, alikuwa akataka kumaliza kabisa.
Tulipewa siku 14 na natumai maybe kesho ama kesho kutwa watapelekwa mahakamani.
Tragic indeed, father and daughter uniting to murder their grandmother. Now, at least 45,000 teachers will be able to further their studies as a means to enhance their professional competencies through a partnership between the Kenya Women Teachers Association, KEWOTA, and mobile service provider Safaricom. The initiative, dubbed Soma Nabonga, will enable members to enroll for various professional courses offered by online universities, including Harvard in the United States. KEWOTA says it has negotiated a package with Safaricom for education data bundles up to 10 GB unlimited data for affordable costs, as teachers may not hold enough Bonga points to enable them complete the courses. Courses on offer include professional development, courses such as accounting and human resources, interview techniques, developing apps, communication, and cybersecurity.
Yet by 2022, the skills required to perform most jobs will have shifted significantly. Therefore, they'll need to retool in our workplace skills in the period leading up to 2022. Skills such as creativity, originality, critical thinking, persuasion, and negotiation will retain or increase their value, just like attention to detail, resilience, flexibility, complex problem solving. Demand for emotional intelligence, leadership, social influence, as well as service orientation will also increase relative to their current prominence today.
Away from matters education or professional improvement of teachers to matters maize. Now, I mean, it's lunchtime. You might be having yourself some ugali, and the National Cereals and Produce Board has been experiencing challenges purchasing maize as private buyers have been offering better prices and prompt payment. Gabriel Kudaka is in Eldoret. Gabriel, has there been a development in this story?
Yes, Olive, most farmers in this region were a bit reluctant to deliver their maize to NCPB after citing poor prices. But then, due to that, government has been forced now to review the price from about 2,500 shillings per bag to 2,900 shillings per 90 kilogram bag. Now, some say due to that good price, they are now able to at least deliver their commodity. Let's hear from them.
Kwa majina mimi naitwa Charles Chebarit, ni mkulima katika Uasin Gishu. Sisi tunapongeza serikali yetu ikiongozwa na Uhuru Kenyatta na William Ruto. Pamoja na kuchagulia sisi minister mzuri naitwa Munya, pamoja na chairman ya ukulima Bwana Tiren ile anaelewa maneno ya ukulima zaidi. Sasa tumekuja hapa leo, tumekutana tukasema kwamba sio mbaya kwa sababu wameongeza kutoka 2,500 mpaka 2,700. Lakini tulikuwa na matarajio mengi kwa sababu tulikuwa tumeuzanga zamani tunauza 3,200. Lakini sio mbaya kwa sababu tunaendelea, bora tu mufunge ile mahindi iko nje, ile wanatoka sehemu za nje, alafu nakuja kuharibia sisi biashara.
Asante sana. Je, Mr. Kolum, unafurahia bei ya leo?
Bei ya leo, asante sana. Bei ya leo sijafurahia nikiwa mkulima kwa sababu pato hajatosha bei ya kusalisha hiyo ya 2,700 kutoka gunia moja inagharimu 2,800-900. Kwa hivyo waweke juu kidogo ili tupate kuleta mahindi na mahindi ijaye hapa. Hakuna, naona leo hakuna lori hata moja hapa. Asante.
Asante. Before I hand over to you, there's also an MP for Moiben.
Thank you very much. We've been here today with meeting farmers over the issues of the prices, and I want to take this opportunity to also thank the government and the ministry and also cereals for moving the price from 25 to 27. Despite the fact that we've discussed with farmers and they're not happy with the price, and that is why you're not seeing any maize around here. And what I was also going to urge the ministry as well as also cereal to kind of review also the price and see if we can move it upwards. Farmers are talking of 3,200, which was the price of last year. And they are saying if we could go there, not simply because they want a good price, but they are looking for cost of production and saying since we put in our money, we also need to get something in return. So I am with the farmers, and I think I've listened to their grievances, and we are going to sit down and we'll see what is the way forward. I also want to take this opportunity by telling the government and the ministry to be able to listen to farmers.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tiren. Those are farmers from North region hearing about the new prices, and they are saying it's better than nothing. Back to you.
Thank you, Gabriel. Sentiments there from farmers as well as from NCPB officials following a decision to raise the amount that the agency will be paying per bag of maize. Now, Wednesday promises to be a historic day for the United States, with Joe Biden due to be sworn in as the 46th President of the United States, and with Kamala Harris due to become not only the first female vice president, but also person of color to take up the office. The recent Capitol riots have further complicated the preparations for the swearing in, as has COVID-19. Not only that, but Donald Trump will not be attending the ceremony.
Members of the U.S. military, the police, and students from Howard University take part in a dress rehearsal for President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration outside the White House in Washington. Thousands of flags have been mounted and dress rehearsals have begun as the USA prepares to usher in Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as the country's newly elected leaders. Just hours to the big day, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris resigned from the U.S. Senate to take up her new assignment.
And so I just wanted to say thank you. Of course, I'm not saying goodbye. In many ways, I'm now saying hello as your vice president.
On her own Twitter account as well, First Lady Melania Trump posted a farewell message to Americans.
The promise of this nation belongs to all of us. Do not lose sight of your integrity and values. Use every opportunity to show consideration for another person. and build good habits into our daily lives. In all circumstances, I ask every American to be an ambassador of Be Best, to focus on what unites us, to raise above what divides us, to always choose love over hatred, peace over violence, and others before yourself.
The American capital remains under heavy security following the January 6th Capitol attacks. Non-profit organization World Central Kitchen have been distributing hot meals to troops that have been deployed across Washington, D.C. ahead of the inauguration.
We saw that with the huge influx of soldiers, of National Guard troops, of other agencies like Secret Service and police and other groups that were coming in to protect the Capitol and the city at large during inauguration, that there was going to be a need to support them with fresh, healthy, nutritious meals.
Trump has still not congratulated Biden or invited him for the traditional tea visit in the Oval Office. He has generally been out of the public eye since the attack on the Capitol that triggered his historic impeachment a week later. Anita Nkonge, NTV.
We will be covering the proceedings in Washington, D.C. live with incisive analysis on what the change of guard in America means for Kenya in terms of investment and bilateral relations. Our coverage begins at 2 p.m. on Wednesday. Do join us then. Meanwhile, China is constructing more makeshift quarantine sites to accommodate close contacts of COVID patients in the northern region, where a spike of cases has occurred over the past 2 weeks. China has sent over 20,000 rural residents living in the epicenter of the country's latest virus outbreak to state-run quarantine facilities, as Beijing reports the worst nationwide figures since March. On Friday, 144 infections were reported, and in the highest single-day tally since March last year, mostly in Hebei province, where more than 22 million people are in lockdown. It's worth taking note that Rwanda has reinstated a lockdown it implemented following the outbreak in March, so Kigali is under lockdown. Time now for what's happening in the world of sports, and Yahya Jabrane converted a retaken penalty to give Morocco a 1-0 victory over Togo Monday in Douala as they seek to become the penalty was taken. Agba dived to his right again when the kick was retaken on 27 minutes, but Jabrane planted the ball into the unguarded side of the goal. The Moroccans are the favourites along with host Cameroon and twice champions, the Democratic Republic of Congo, to win a competition restricted to home-based footballers. In the second match of a Group C doubleheader at the Stade Reunification in the Cameroonian economic capital, Rwanda and Uganda drew 0-0. The nation's championship is a dress rehearsal for the 24 Team Africa Cup of Nations early next year. Now, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang scored a welcome double as Arsenal moved to 10th place in the Premier League with a 3-0 win over an impotent Newcastle side. Aubameyang fired the Gunners ahead in the 50th minute, finishing off a counter-attack, running at the Newcastle defence and then blasting home a powerful left-foot drive at the near post. 10 minutes later, Bukayo Saka made it 2-0 with a confident slot home after good work down the left flank from the impressive youngster Emile Smith-Rowe, who jinked his way around the back of the Newcastle defence before delivering a pinpoint pass. Aubameyang completed the comfortable victory after Cedric Soares got to the byline and pulls the ball back into his path. Arsenal have now kept a clean sheet in 5 straight games in all competitions. In today's fixtures, West Ham United will be playing.
It's a second for Aubameyang. Arsenal 3, Newcastle 0.
Southampton will face third-tier side Shrewsbury at St Mary's Stadium on Tuesday evening in a scheduled FA Cup third-round tie. Southampton head into this cup tie on the back of a 2-0 loss against Leicester City on Saturday evening, with James Maddison and Javi Barnes netting to end the Saints' 3-game unbeaten streak without conceding. The Shrews have already had to come through a couple of rounds to make it this far, seeing off Cambridge United 2-0 and Oxford City 1-0 after extra time. Whichever side progresses will host holders Arsenal in the fourth round 4 days later. The original fixture was due to take place on Saturday, January the 9th, but was postponed after a number of positive COVID-19 tests at Shrewsbury.
Yeah, you might have to. Jasna is now. This is Jasna. Yes, Jasna.
And that concludes NTV at 1. I've been your host, Olive Burrows. It has been a pleasurable experience, and Mark Masai will be with you at 9 p.m. on NTV tonight.